Hey everybody, and I'm Uncle Dory here, and welcome to another episode of Monster Month with Ben 10 Season 4. My second favorite season of the original series. And he gets four new aliens in this season. And I say four in this season as two of the three movies actually take place in between different episodes of this season. In between episodes 4 and 5 of the final season is when the Ben 10 movie Secrets of the Omnitrix takes place. In between uh, in between uh, in between episodes 7 and 8 of the final season is when Race Against Time happens. And then after the final 3 episodes, that's when Destroy All Aliens takes place. But Destroy All Aliens takes place like months later, months after the events of the last three episodes of the season. But yeah, so basically this season is the season of the Forever King. Each season has its own main villain. Season 1 had Vilgax, Season 2 had Kevin, Season 3 had Ghost Freak, Season 4 has the Forever King, the leader of the Forever Knights. And the Forever, and yeah, it's the Forever King. The Forever King is the main villain, and this is kind of built up throughout a lot of the episodes, as we're seeing a bunch of old villains come back, and it all leads up to this big climactic battle where a bunch of Ben's old villains all team up in order to take him down. Let's see. Season 1, there was like 5 episodes. Seasons 1, 2, 3, all of them had like 4 or 5 episodes to their story. Let's see. This one has 1, 2, 3. Let's see. 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 of the 10 episodes. And let's see. The 3 that don't have anything to do with it are all right in a row. Episodes 4, 5, and 6, those don't have anything to do with the overarching story. Essentially, the time in between Secrets of the Omnitrix and Race Against Time, the episodes in between that is essentially the stuff that doesn't have anything to do with the overarching story of the final season. All other episodes in the season have something to do with it, which is really cool because I like how they're putting a lot more focus on the overarching story this time around, rather than having it be just like one episode every 3 episodes and having like 4, maybe 5 episodes to focus on this. They're actually having 7 of them, which is really cool. I really like that. Because I do like these overarching stories in each of the seasons. I think that is really cool. And the aliens he gets in Season 4, specifically in the episodes, is Ditto, as you can see here. And Ditto is able to split himself up, and Eye Guy, as you can see right here. He gets those two aliens, specifically in different episodes of the final season. The other two aliens that he gets in the course of season 4 are actually in 2 of the 3 films. So by the time episode 4 of the final season comes around, he has a total of 17 aliens, and then by the end of the film, it's 18. Then 19 aliens by the end of the 7th film, by the end of the 7th episode and 2nd film, and then 20 aliens by the end of the series. So, like, he gets a new episode in quite a few different places in the series, and I really like this season. I really, really like this season. My personal favorite is still season 2 because, like, good God, all of the episodes were amazing, with the exception of, again, those 2. And although the 3 episodes that don't cover the overarching story, while there are 3 episodes that don't cover that don't help out the overarching story, they're still good episodes. They're still very good episodes. The only reason this season is not my favorite season is because there's only 10 episodes, and season 2 has 13 episodes, and 11 of those 13 are amazing. So it has 1 extra episode on this in terms of amazing episodes. So, like, that's... And plus season 2 had the Kevin teams up with Vilgax episode, which I love. That is my favorite episode in the series. I think that is absolutely incredible. The animation, I cannot say this enough. The animation in that episode was phenomenal. The show was at its peak in that episode. And it was just absolutely incredible. I love it. I love that episode. Honestly, I really, I was really worried after season 2 because I was like, oh God, they can't top that. They can't top that. The stories did. The animation did not. They could never top that animation. Like, that was as good as it got. Max helps out a ton now in practically every episode instead of every other episode. He helps out in every episode. Same thing with Gwen. And she's finally good at magic! Finally! I've been waiting 3 seasons and a video game for you to become good at magic, and here you are, finally good at magic. Oh, so good. I love it. And she's such a badass in these episodes. In these 10 episodes, she's just such a badass. And yeah, it's an amazing season. The Forever King, what do I think about the Forever King? He's a cool villain, but we didn't see enough of him. Now, the -10 was built up big time in this season. It was built up so much in this season. However, we don't get to see the Forever King enough. We see him appear for 5 seconds at the end of the first episode of season 4. 5 seconds, and then he appears again for like another 10 seconds halfway through episode 9. And then again for another 10 seconds at the end of that very same episode. It's not until the final episode of the series that you actually see him throughout the whole thing. And you're actually, like, learning about him. You're actually learning about him and, like, what he can do and how he raised through the ranks of the Forever Knights and everything. So, like, prior to the final episode, we got 30 seconds. We essentially got 30 seconds, less than a minute of screen time with him. So there was no setup for this guy. He just, boom, he just pops in at the end of the first episode of season 4. I would have liked there to have been hints that there was a Forever King, that Enoch wasn't in charge, but there were no hints throughout the series, and I checked. I checked. I was looking for any sort of hints, and there were none. So, like, I wish they had built this guy up. I wish that they had built this guy up in the first 3 seasons, so that we'd be wondering, what does this guy look like? What does this guy look like? And then I wish we had gotten to see him, and I wish throughout the other episodes that focus on the other members of the Negative 10, I wish we had gotten to see, at the end of each of those episodes, the Forever King shows up and it's like, I'd like to offer you a deal. How would you like to have revenge on Ben Tennyson? I'm putting a team together to wipe him out for good. And it's just like, I wish I could have seen something like that. I wish we could have seen something like that at the end of each of those episodes. That way we'd actually get to at least see more of him and learn a bit more about him each time. That would have been a lot better than just throwing all the information in the final episode and expecting us to not only follow it, but be invested in the character that we knew nothing about until now. And boom, by the end of the episode, he's dead. Upchuck, he gets a hold of this incredibly powerful power source. Upchuck eats it and then blasts the Forever King with it and just completely obliterates him. Ben just murdered a guy. Yes, he murdered a guy. Now, the way the dialogue is, it would have you believe that the guy just dropped his armor and clothes and ran away naked. No, bullshit. No. We hear about what that power source can do. We hear about how destructive it is and how it's able to completely obliterate all traces of life from existence when a place gets hit with it. If it can do that, and Upchuck just shot the full force of it at the Forever King, that guy's dust. Not even dust. The dust was obliterated. Like, that guy doesn't exist anymore. He's dead. Ben murdered a guy. But yeah, so, like, we know nothing about him. We knew nothing about him. Like, I was so interested in learning about this guy, and we learned everything all in the span of, like, 5 minutes in the final episode. And then there's this one big fight scene between him and Ben, which ends with Ben killing him, and boom, that's it. Series done. Like, oh man, I just wish they had built him up. This guy could have been one of Ben's biggest enemies if they had just built him up earlier. Back in Season 2, maybe. Season 1, we got introduced to Enoch a little late. I understand that. But in Season 2, we get the episode Ultimate Weapon. It could have been so cool if, at the end of the episode, we find out that Enoch wanted that because he wanted to present it to the Forever King. And he ends up reporting to the Forever King that he failed to retrieve the weapon or something. Like, that would have been cool. That would have been so cool to learn that. That would have been so cool to actually see that, and then we see hints of him and the Forever Knights and everything throughout the rest of Season 2 and Season 3. That would have been great. I would have loved that. But as it is, it's still a good season. And there is one episode that I haven't talked about that I'll have to talk about at a later date, called Goodbye and Good Riddance, and why and how Cartoon Network and Man of Action has been trying to sweep that episode under the rug and trying to forget it exists, which I don't understand why. I think it's a great episode. But yeah, that's a topic for another day. I'll save that for another video. I'm running out of time, so I will see you guys in the next video. All right. Take care, everyone.